at the end of the line. Oh, how it breaks my heart.
For decades, country legend Vince Gill has been a pillar of the industry, known for his soulful voice and personal charm. But just after his 68th birthday, he has finally come clean about the rumors that have dogged him for years. What truth has he been hiding all this time? Join us as we uncover the details of Gill's confession. Vince Gill's climb to greatness. Vince Gill is a respected and successful figure in American music. His path to success was gradual and focused, marked by patience and talent from the start. Despite starting out small and modest, like many other great artists, Vince has become a celebrated musician, songwriter, and singer. During the 1970s, Vince was one of many young musicians trying to become known in the music industry. He performed with different bluegrass bands in his area, dedicating himself to the genre. These early experiences instilled in him a strong passion for traditional music, but did not bring him much recognition. However, each performance he gave helped him grow as an artist. He did not achieve major success until he transitioned to a different genre of music. In 1978, Vince decided to try something new and became the main singer for the soft rock band Pure Prairie League. This decision was a significant moment for him. One of their popular songs, Let Me Love You Tonight, showcased his singing and was the beginning of his journey to fame. Apart from singing, he also contributed by writing songs for the band. This period with the group boosted his self-assurance, improved his musical style, and gave him insights into the music industry. Even though he did not stay with the band for a long time, it had a lasting influence on his career. Shortly after, Vince progressed in his career by becoming a member of Rodney Crowell's supporting band, the Cherry Bombs. He contributed as a guitarist to the group, enhancing his musical abilities. Although it wasn't a prominent position, it was essential in developing his skills. This role helped him fine-tune his musical instincts and learn how to deliver performances with accuracy and emotion. Despite his involvement in the group, Vince had aspirations of taking on a more prominent role in the spotlight. He desired greater opportunities. In 1984, he took a brave step and started a solo career in country music. It was a bold decision. Vince signed with RCA Records Nashville to start recording as a solo artist. Despite his hard work, achieving great success was difficult. There were challenges in his way. The music industry did not quickly accept him. However, Vince did not let that get him down. He continued on, staying true to his music and goals. In 1989, everything turned around for him when he joined MCA Nashville. This decision marked the beginning of a new phase in his career. His album, When I Call Your Name, was a major hit, transforming his career completely. It was a breakthrough moment for Vince. Suddenly, his music became very popular, gaining him a large following. By the early 1990s, he had established himself as a prominent figure in the country music scene. His songs were topping the charts on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. From 1992 to 1994, Vince released many popular songs that reached the top of the charts. His 4 solo hits during this period solidified his status as a leading country music artist. Vince's success extended beyond his solo work, including a memorable duet with Reba McEntire in 1993 called The Heart Won't Lie, which resonated with fans. He also collaborated with Chris Young on Sober Saturday Night and participated in the star-studded project Forever Country in 2016. In the 1990s, all of Vince's albums achieved platinum status, or higher, according to the Recording Industry Association of America. His album I Still Believe in You was his best-selling album, reaching quintuple platinum. Vince has more awards than any other solo male country artist, with 22 Grammy Awards to his name. Vince continued to stay active after achieving success. From 2010 to 2020, he toured with a Western swing band known as the Time Jumpers. Then, in 2017, he became a member of the iconic rock band Eagles following the passing of Glenn Frey. This move shocked fans, but also showcased Vince's ability to adapt and pay tribute to a legendary band with dignity. But how did Gills start his career? Was it as easy as everyone thought? Let's find out. From little strings to big dreams, the early life of Vince Gill. Vincent Grant Gill, now known as Vince Gill, was born on April 12, 1957, in Norman, Oklahoma, a small town. He was the youngest of 3 siblings, and his upbringing was greatly influenced by the love and unity of his family. Despite not being wealthy, the Gill household was always filled with music and closeness. Vince's dad, Stan Gill, was not only a judge, but also a skilled musician who could play the banjo and guitar. He had a good sense of music and passed on his talent to young Vince, teaching him how to play the guitar and appreciate music. Vince's mother, Jaren, also loved music and could sing and play the harmonica. Music was a big part of their everyday life, not just for fun, but as something they enjoyed together. Whether it was classic country tunes or upbeat rock and roll, music was always present in their home like a cherished companion. Evenings were usually spent listening to the Grand Ole Opry on the radio. This experience sparked Vince's appreciation for various types of music like classic country, folk, and modern tunes. He did not just listen to music, he was deeply connected with it. Although his parents were big fans of golf, Vince wasn't initially as interested in the sport. However, it eventually became a hobby that he grew to love. One day, Vince found his grandmother's old guitar, which was a special moment for him. At the young age of 5, he taught himself to play the song Old Shep, marking the start of something enchanting. Shortly after, Vince started playing music with his half-brother Bob. They even performed Long Tall Texan by the Beach Boys on a radio program in their area. Despite being only 8 years old at the time, Vince was already captivating an audience, and the excitement of that experience stuck with him. As Vince aged, he learned to play more instruments and received guidance from various people. A local guitarist named Jay taught him how to enhance his guitar skills. Another individual, Julian Aiken, influenced his musical style. Vince proudly showcased his talent by bringing his guitar to school and playing songs for his classmates. It was evident that music was more than just a hobby for him, it was his passion. In his teenage years, Vince became interested in learning about different musical instruments. He learned to play the fiddle, banjo, bass guitar, and mandolin. He started to explore more genres of music. Vince became friends with a boy whose father knew his dad. He was a mandolin player who loved bluegrass music. They connected over their mutual passion for string instruments, and Vince's fascination with bluegrass music grew. After finishing high school, Vince immediately pursued his passion by creating a bluegrass band named Mountain Smoke. This group provided him with his first experience in performing professionally. They were given the opportunity to open for the famous hard rock band Kiss, but the audience did not respond positively. Instead, they started booing and throwing things at them. Vince showed courage by standing up to the crowd, by turning his back on them and leaving the stage defiantly. This act of defiance revealed Vince's passion and determination. Despite facing lack of recognition, he remained authentic to himself. The combination of his fiery spirit and passion for music molded him into a respected individual. So, what shocking event turned Gill's already successful career around for the best? How did he get to join the Eagles? Vince Gill's life-changing invitation. Vince had accomplished a lot in the music industry. He had shown his talent as a solo artist many times. He had a feeling that a change might be coming. Despite not being able to fully understand it, he sensed a shift was on the horizon. Little did he know that a phone call he was about to receive would change everything. When Vince answered the phone, he was surprised to hear Irving Azoff, the manager of the Eagles, on the other end. His heart started racing as he listened to what Irving had to say. The shocking news that came next completely caught him off guard. The Eagles were inviting him to join their band. This was no ordinary group. The Eagles influenced a whole era of music. Everything about them, from their harmonies to their lyrics, had a significant impact on the music industry. Vince found it hard to believe. At first, he thought it might be a mistake or not real. However, Irving confirmed that it was real, and the Eagles were serious about their music. One of the original members of the band, Glenn Frey, had recently passed away. His contributions to the Eagles, including his vocals, instrumental skills, and songwriting, were significant. It was a big responsibility to fill his shoes. Vince was being brought in to join the band, not to replace Glenn, but to carry on his legacy. Vince experienced a strong blend of feelings. He felt proud and honored, but he also felt unsure. He wondered why he was chosen out of all the musicians in the world. He was aware that his voice could harmonize with theirs. His musical style closely matched the sound that the Eagles were famous for. However, the idea of taking over Glenn's role was daunting. Glenn was not just a bandmate, he was an essential foundation. Vince found himself struggling with difficult and unanswered questions. His successful career as a solo artist was developed over many years. It required hard work, dedication, and giving up a lot. Changing his focus, even a little, was a major choice. However, the opportunity to join something larger, something that had influenced his love for music, was too important to pass up. He remembered the songs he listened to growing up and the band that motivated him. It was a moment of mixed emotions. When he finally questioned why he was chosen, he was given a memorable answer. Don Henley, one of the founders of the Eagles, stated that Vince was their top choice. They valued him not only for his talent, but also for his kindness and modesty. It wasn't just about finding a replacement, it was about paying tribute to a legacy. When Vince was getting ready to start in his new position, he understood that there would be changes. He was going into a whole new environment with a lot of pressure. He knew he could never completely replace Glenn Frey, but that wasn't the goal. The focus was on preserving the music and carrying on a meaningful story that resonated with millions of people. The switch was difficult. Vince was used to working alone for a long time, making all the decisions himself. Now, he had to become a part of a group with its way of doing things. He had to learn to fit in while still being true to himself. This required him to listen more, change his instincts, and find ways to help without overshadowing the band's existing reputation. Replacing Glenn was difficult because fans were used to hearing his voice and had emotional connections to it. Vince understood this and felt the pressure every time he sang. He was conscious of being compared to Glenn, but he did not try to copy him. Instead, he tried to honor Glenn's legacy while staying true to himself. His first performance with the Eagles was very emotional, not only for Vince, but also for the audience. Before the music began, there was a quiet feeling in the air. The crowd understood the significance of the event. It was more than just a show, it was a time to remember and to progress while also looking back. That evening, Vince put all his effort into the performance. He sang with passion, blended well with the other vocals, and allowed the music to convey the emotions. It marked the start of something new, a journey with challenges and excitement. But when they were on stage with the Eagles, it wasn't just about the performance. In private, the dynamics were diverse. Each member had their special qualities. Don Henley was always striving for perfection with a strong focus. Joe Walsh brought a carefree and lively energy, making things fun and unpredictable. Timothy B. Schmidt stayed calm and steady, serving as a peacemaker during times of tension. Vince slowly adjusted to the new situation by observing, listening, and learning about how the band operated. He noticed how they interacted, argued, reconciled, and made decisions. The band was known for being meticulous and perfectionistic. They paid attention to every detail and made sure every song was perfect. This attention to detail brought both pressure and meaning. Over time, Vince learned to find harmony within himself. He discovered the strong connection he shared with someone. They had experienced good and bad times together, breakups, losses, and victories. Their disagreements did not tear them apart, but rather helped them grow. Their shared past had a silent resilience, even when it caused tension. He also became friends with them during happier times. They shared stories, jokes, and laughs. These moments made Vince feel like he was part of the family. However, he understood that there were long-standing issues within the group. Past hurts were still present, even if not openly discussed. Vince respected this and did not attempt to make any changes. Instead, he simply listened and remained engaged. He was most shocked by how dependent the band members were on each other. They had experienced life's challenges as a group, including difficult times and successful moments. Despite their imperfections, they remained loyal to each other. Vince did not just see joining the Eagles as a job change. It was a chance for him to grow and evolve. He embraced the opportunity with optimism and caution. He did not feel the need to be like Glenn Frey. He just wanted to stay true to himself, honoring the past, focusing on the present, and looking forward to the future. So after words got out to the public, what were their reactions? Did they accept Gill easily? When Vince Gill won over the Eagles crowd. When people found out Vince Gill would be joining the Eagles, they had different emotions. Some fans were excited about the idea of a talented musician joining a legendary band. But for others, it felt like something sacred was being messed with. It was difficult for them to think of anyone else standing where Glenn Frey once stood, because Glenn was so important to the band's identity, and his death had a big impact. Vince's participation generated strong reactions from fans. Some supporters viewed this as an opportunity to progress while still honoring the past. They were aware of Vince's extensive music background and admired his dignified demeanor. His good reputation was highly regarded, and many thought he could contribute something valuable to the band without altering its essence. These fans greeted him warmly and optimistically. They were eager to see the impact Vince would make on the stage. During the band's first shows with Vince, fans were happy with his performance. His vocals matched well with the other band members, and his guitar playing and stage presence were spot on. It was a fresh but pleasing change. Vince wasn't trying to imitate Glenn, he was just being himself. This authenticity added to the music's quality. The crowd reacted with enthusiasm, singing along and cheering. It seemed as if Vince had been part of the band all along. Not everyone immediately embraced the change. Glenn Frey was seen by many longtime Eagles fans as more than just a bandmate, but as the heart and soul of the group. His absence created a void that seemed impossible to fill. The thought of someone else taking his place made people uneasy. Even Vince, a talented musician, felt like he was interrupting the group's history. Social media became a platform for debate. Some people commended Vince's abilities and energy, while others were doubtful and worried about the decision. Vince was aware of the different reactions people had. He admired Glenn and knew how much fans loved him. He never attempted to replace Glenn or copy him. Instead, he remained calm and respectful, focusing on honoring the music and showing love for the Eagles' work in interviews. Vince stood out because of his unique approach. Instead of arguing or being defensive, he stayed true to the music and himself. He played, sang, and let the songs speak for themselves. Gradually, skeptics began to reconsider their opinions. They noticed the effort he put into each performance and felt the emotions in his voice. They came to understand that he wasn't trying to change the Eagles, but rather contribute to something important. As time passed, Vince's authenticity started to win over even the harshest critics. It was evident that he admired the band's accomplishments and wasn't trying to overshadow Glenn. He simply wanted to contribute to keeping the music going. Fans began to appreciate his bravery and modesty while performing. It was clear that he brought a unique quality that was genuine and not fabricated. Vince had his musical style that appealed to people, which helped him gain acceptance in the band. Fans gradually started to see him as a valuable addition to the Eagles, rather than just a fill-in. Why Vince Gill nearly walked away from the Eagles. Vince Gill was surprised by the intense emotions he faced when he became a part of the Eagles. At first glance, the band seemed flawless and well-coordinated, but as Vince became more involved, he saw problems that were hidden from outsiders. Even though they appeared to work well together on stage, there was a lot of tension behind the scenes. Vince's time with the Eagles was about to reach a critical moment. From the start, Vince understood the importance of his role in the band. He respected the band's history and wanted to make a meaningful contribution. Every rehearsal, sound check, and performance felt like a challenge for him. He was aware that fans may have mixed feelings about him joining after the death of Glenn Frey. Vince made an effort to showcase his talent without disrespecting the band's past. Finding the right balance was difficult. The band was constantly on tour, working hard to maintain their high standards. It was not only about performing well, but also about upholding a name that had a long history. Tensions were always bubbling just beneath the surface. During a practice session one day, tensions escalated. It began with a disagreement about how to arrange a classic Eagles song. Vince had a new idea, not to change the essence of the music, but to give it a fresh twist. Some band members disagreed, and the small suggestion turned into a heated argument. Voices were raised, faces got red, and emotions ran high. Vince found himself in the middle of the chaos before he realized what was happening. He was surprised by the intense reaction. He felt like others did not understand him. His intention wasn't to dismiss or disrespect anything. He wanted to honor the band's music while bringing it into the present. However, in that moment, he felt like an outsider among longtime members and high expectations. The pressure was overwhelming for him. His breathing became shallow. He started to doubt himself. He began to wonder if he did not fit in. He worried that his time with the Eagles was coming to an end. That evening in his hotel room, Vince sat by himself. He thought back on all that had transpired. He felt a deep sadness. He had given up a lot: time, effort, money, all in order to be part of something bigger than himself. However, now that dream felt out of reach. His passion for music pulled him one way, while the growing conflicts pushed him in another direction. The idea of quitting crossed his mind. Going back to his solo career would bring him freedom, no more disagreements, no more trying to conform to a mold that may never truly fit him. But it also meant letting go of an opportunity to be a part of a historic moment in music. Just as he was about to give up, something occurred that completely altered the situation. Don Henley, recognizing the seriousness in Vince, took him to the side for a private conversation. Away from the noise and stress of the rehearsal space, the two men had a heartfelt discussion. Don acknowledged the difficulty Vince was dealing with and admired how he tried to fit in while staying true to himself. That moment of truth was a pivotal moment. They discovered that despite the challenges, they both had the same objective: to create meaningful music. That calm conversation resulted in a fresh level of comprehension. Vince no longer felt like he was just barely getting by in another person's band. He started feeling like a genuine member of the group. The stress that had almost overwhelmed him began to decrease. He discovered a new sense of power and direction. From that point on, there was a gradual change. The band became more receptive to each other's suggestions. They began to listen more and argue less. Vince gained their confidence not only through his abilities, but also through his sincerity. His arrival made a big impact on the Eagles' music. Fans noticed a fresh energy in their concerts. His smooth vocals fit in well with the band. Songs like Tequila Sunrise and Take It to the Limit sounded refreshed. The harmonies were still there, but Vince's unique voice added a warm touch. It was a subtle but significant change. He did not erase the old sound. He just added something new. So what were the rumors that have been swirling for years? What did Vince Gill say about them? Vince Gill's honest truth about the quiet tension that changed everything. Vince Gill is well known for his modest and straightforward nature, but he shocked fans by revealing a surprising truth. He confessed that he was uncertain about staying with the Eagles when he first joined them. This admission came as a surprise to many, as it was commonly believed that he had joined the group with complete confidence. However, Vince admitted that his decision was not as straightforward as it seemed. It wasn't only about taking over for Glenn Frey or winning over skeptical fans. Vince had a more significant challenge to overcome. Initially, he did not feel like he belonged. Even though the band accepted him warmly, Vince still felt like he did not quite fit in. The Eagles had a rich history, with many shared experiences and memories. Vince was joining a group that had formed a strong connection over many years, and he wasn't sure if he truly belonged. During his first days with the group, he had doubts lingering in his mind. He started to question if he was capable of continuing the legacy. Instead of surrendering to uncertainty, he used the pressure as motivation. Rather than being overwhelmed, Vince found solace in his position. He came to the realization that he did not have to fill anyone's shoes perfectly. The most important thing was contributing his best to the team and pursuing his passion for music. Vince began to discover where he belonged as he adopted this mindset. Instead of comparing himself to others, he concentrated on being the best version of himself. This shift in focus enabled him to embrace his role and become a valuable member of the Eagles' new era. However, the journey was not easy. Despite this, Vince later talked about the emotional challenges he experienced in the beginning. Even though he was performing on large stages and singing popular songs, he felt a deep sense of loneliness. Being around people who had shared many memories made him feel like he was on the outside looking in. One time, Vince felt a strong urge to leave the band. He could have easily left and gone back to making music on his own. However, during this difficult time, he made a commitment to himself and to honor Glenn Frey's legacy. He decided to stay, not for fame or praise, but because he believed the music still had something important to offer. He viewed staying in the band as a way to pay tribute to Glenn and the experiences they had shared as a band. That choice had a major impact. Vince's decision to remain with the group influenced a new path for them. He added his unique flair, voice, and determination. In return, the band found motivation through his presence. His commitment during tough times allowed everyone to rediscover their shared passion for music. Vince's openness about this time gave fans a better understanding of him, not just as a musician, but as someone who dealt with uncertainty, persevered, and emerged stronger. He did not just become a member of the Eagles, he played a significant role in revitalizing something unique with them. His experience served as a reminder that even the most resilient individuals face inner battles. The most important thing is how they confront these challenges. Vince's decision to remain had a significant impact. He did not attempt to replace Glenn, but instead paid tribute to him by staying true to himself. Today, the Eagles are still making music and playing shows for fans all over the world. Vince Gill's legacy and future in music. Vince Gill is a highly talented and respected musician in country and rock music, known for his smooth voice and impressive guitar skills. He has had a successful career, winning numerous awards like Grammy Awards and Country Music Association honors. His songs are known for telling emotional stories that resonate with listeners of all ages. As soon as Vince joined the Eagles, a very famous rock band, his popularity soared even higher. Initially, some fans had doubts, but he soon showed that he was a perfect fit. He introduced a new and exciting twist to the band's timeless songs while still respecting their traditional sound. With his vocals, he brought a new richness to beloved classics, and his guitar skills gave old favorites a contemporary touch. Vince not only performs music, but he is also skilled at writing songs and producing music. He assists other artists in the background and frequently encourages aspiring musicians. He is recognized for his kindness, humility, and collaborative approach. In terms of what lies ahead for him, Vince shows no indication of decreasing his pace. He is still actively touring, creating new music, and participating in special concerts. Supporters are eager to see his future endeavors, whether they involve the Eagles, his solo career, or other artistic ventures. Vince Gill has already made his mark in music, but he is still evolving. He shows how talent, passion, and hard work can lead to lasting success. Both on stage and off, Vince is influencing the music industry with skill and passion. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.